So today is a way different video than I ever thought I'd be making. Today I want to talk about change. And I want to talk about my experience with change and how a lot of times fear of change will actually hold you back in a lot of different ways, and in not a good way. A lot of people are comfortable in their situation. They're comfortable with their job. They're comfortable with their relationship. They're comfortable with the situation that they're in, even though they know that the situation is bad. And this is why I want to talk about this video today. I don't know what is pulling me to make this video, but I just something's in me to want to make this video and talk about this because I did not grow up with a lot of advantages. And I know everybody has their own cards that they're dealt when they grow up, and some people's cards that they're handed when they're born are terrible. They are put into a position that is not good, and they are at a disadvantage within their life. But I will say that even though you are dealt a bad situation or bad cards, doesn't mean that you're the victim and everything is not your fault. At a certain point in time, people need to take responsibility for their own actions and what they are doing to actually make their situation better or worse. So I would say change is right outside. I mean, really, greatness is right outside people's comfort zone. And I think a lot of people are scared to take that leap, especially when it's a big decision. Now, this is a testament to my parents. I did not grow up rich. I grew up extremely poor. We lived in a trailer park. I remember dumpster diving to get money for milk. We were on food stamps. We were on the government program. We're helped by the government to even eat. And my mom and dad did the best they could. And eventually things got better over time. But I see all these kids growing up having basically a free ride from their parents, paying for them to go to college, buying their first car, doing all these other things. I didn't get any of that. Zero. And I would say right now I am more successful in my life financially, however you want to say it, than 99% of my friends. And I had probably the worst cards that you could, out of all my friends, I had the worst cards. And yes, it could have been definitely worse. We were poor at the start. I didn't get any help from my parents, but I had good parents. That's the thing. My parents actually cared about us, and every single one of my brothers, we have jumped from our social economic, area from, basically poor to upper middle class at a certain point. So all of us are doing great. We have all gone beyond what our parents is worth. And I think a lot of people, that doesn't happen. A lot of people learn from their parents. They take note from their parents. They copy their parents. And, a lot of times you have bad parents. I hate to say it that way. If your parents are teaching you, well, that's just the way it is. And yeah, that's why. And if they're coming up with excuses of why they're put in their place or why this or that, or they're blaming someone else, that's a bad mentality to have. I was very self-reliant as a kid. I was very self-sufficient. I wanted to be on my own. I didn't want anybody to teach me anything. I would get mad if someone's trying to teach me how to tie my shoes. I get mad and be like, no, let me do it. That's great because, I was able to learn a lot of things on my own. I taught myself how to ride a bike. I taught myself how to swim, a bunch of different things that I've taught myself how to do. And I still do believe that, like, with the right information, I can kind of do most things, like fixing a car or, whatever it may be. Right. With the right information. I have a very can-do attitude on how to do things, which makes me very handy. And, I just want to do things the right way. And, it makes me a very good thinker. For my job, my daily job, I work in IT, so I have to troubleshoot constantly. And that's one of my best strengths as a person, is just being able to troubleshoot and look at things outside the box. So growing up, we were poor, like I said. I had to walk to work, for my first job. And eventually I found a friend who actually would come pick me up and take me to work to go work with him at Walmart, just so I could save up enough money to buy a car. People don't understand. I'm walking a mile plus, whoop-de-doo, that's not that far, whatever, right? But, I have to walk to work. Yeah, a mile in the sun is fine, but when it's, snowing or raining outside or it's cold, That mile seems much, much further, trust me. I just did what I had to do to get things done. And I think that's the biggest problem with today's generation is nobody wants to work anymore. Everything's beneath them, in terms of, what they need to do, what they need to take care of. I think a lot of this current generation is going to wake up at 32 years old in their parents' basement and be like, what the hell happened? You know what I mean? Eventually, coming from a person that I really wasn't going anywhere, and I didn't really grow up until I was 25 years old. I know I look younger, but I'm going to be 40 years old in January. So it took me a long time to grow up. And I think that's the case with a lot of guys as well. But there's a certain point in time where you get sick of losing. You get sick and tired of settling. You get sick and tired of blaming other people for your situation, and you have to take charge of your own life and make that change that's going to change your situation. I was sick of being a loser. I was sick and tired of losing. I was losing in life. I had a really bad relationship, which in retrospect was one of the best things that ever happened to me. When it happened, it forced me to take a really good look at myself and analyze myself and realize like all the things that I was doing wrong and actually grow from that. I completely changed into a different person over a course of 6 months or so of having that retrospective of looking at myself and going like, look, I was super jealous. I was not fully not to blame for this failed relationship. What were the reasons why she would have left me? What can I do in the future to stop that? If I find the right person this next time, I can't lose them because of the same stupid situations and stupid other things that happen in this other relationship. I have to learn. I have to grow from this. I can't be the same person anymore. And I think over time in your life, you're going to change a lot no matter what. But when you start to lose the victim mentality, like, hey, I was late for work and, my alarm clock didn't go off and that's why I got fired. And, so-and-so didn't give me the job and they're racist and that's why I didn't get hired for that job. And at a certain point in time, the buck stops with you. You need to make the decisions to better yourself and change your life. Like I said, it happened to me when I was 25 years old. I was sick of losing. I completely did a 180 in my life. I was basically going nowhere. I didn't really keep a steady job. I would bounce jobs all the time. If I didn't like a job, I would literally just quit. Like, I don't like that job. I'm not going to go there anymore. Business-wise, I look terrible. My resume or CV for you, English people, it looked horrible. I would jump job to job to job. I didn't care if I had gaps in between. I always had an excuse, and I always tried to blame something else for me quitting, But then it got to the point where I was like, I'm done. I'm done losing, And, 25 years old, I was working in construction. It was a good job. Had a pension, all this other stuff. I worked there for a couple of years. But then the recession happened of 2008, and I was, everyone was laid off, so we're getting unemployment, and I was like, I don't want to go back to work. I don't want to go back to work. I do not want to do that high intensity laborious job anymore. I need to go do what I want to do. I don't want to do that anymore. So I decided to go back to college. I ended up going to college, got my certificate in IT, got an A+ certification, which essentially means I'm certified to build and repair computers. That got my foot in the door to go work at a place. And then from there, I never did finish college and get my degree, but that just going onto the right path kind of led me into that. And then since then, I've used my experience. I have like 12 years of experience now in IT, and obviously things are going great. But if I would have got my life together sooner, I would have had even more experience by now. So, and it was plain as day. I definitely knew I should have been doing computers this entire time. I knew it, but for some reason I just didn't go after it. I had excuses. I said, oh, I won't do it. Oh, they won't hire me, blah, 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 blah. And when I finally decided to make the change, I was like, wait a second. What do I need to do to be qualified to work in the area that I want to work in? So I researched it. I looked it up. I figured it out. I figured out, hey, A+ certification is a good way to get your foot in the door. From there, I actually took a pay cut. I was during that time, and in between that, I was working for a warehouse. I took a 50-cent pay cut to start working in IT. But that gamble paid off because I got 2 or 3 raises within the first year alone. So I was almost making like double right off the bat. And since then, I haven't looked back. I have learned so much in IT. Now I do projects. I'm a project engineer doing, setting up servers and firewalls and all this other stuff. And it all came from me being sick and tired of being a loser. And I think that's what's missing. And the journey happens for everyone else, but change is uncomfortable. But, when nowadays I embrace it completely. Change is great. A lot of people will stay in a horrible job because they're scared. They're scared of losing their job, yet at the same time they're comfortable with it. So they'll stay in a horrible job, even though it's not worth it anymore. They taking advantage of you. They're not paying you what you're worth, whatever it may be. And unfortunately, to get a raise at a couple jobs, I end up having to leave and say, hey, who else wants me? And each jump that I made, I've usually, on average, made about $10,000 more per year. Every time I've jumped from another job because I didn't feel like I was appreciated or anything like that. And that goes to a lot of the employers. I know employers suck right now. And I know you feel that, like, why should I have to work for them or whatever, blah, 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 blah. Here's the thing about it. You're not going to work at fast food place and it's going to pay for your family of 5. There are different levels of wages for a reason. But if you're not doing anything else anyway, why would you want to just wait on the government to pay you or, live off of some kind of thing? Like all the changes that you need to make are already within you. You just need to do them. You need to make the, if you want to go to nursing school, figure it out. Maybe there's a 1 or 2 year certificate or program that you can do that will get your foot in the door. So you're like an assistant nurse practitioner or something, and that will lead you down the right path. Get on the path that you want to be on. It's as simple as that. I hate to say it that way, but like a lot of people won't look into it. And for the people that don't know what they want to do with their life, obviously I do feel for you. That's terrible. But I'm just saying, like, no one's going to come save you. No one's going to come help you. And all this like pity party and woe is me thing is never going to do anything. Like, no one's going to help you. You have to help yourself. You want to be something in your life? You want to do something in your life? You got to go out there and take it. You can't be like, I'm a victim. Oh, it's my fault. Oh, it's me. My last job was treating me bad. You know what I did? I left. Whoop. Now I love my job that I have now. So my point is change is good. And unfortunately in my field, I've had to leave jobs a lot in order to get the raise I felt like I deserved, or get the pay or the benefits I felt like I deserved. And that's going to happen. Basically what I'm saying is the change that you need to make is already within you. Try to figure out what you want to do in life, stick with it and go with it. Right now, if you're young, you're not working because it's beneath you to work at McDonald's or whatever. I'll tell you right now, there is nothing beneath me. Of course I make a good wage now, but like if I ended up losing my job in between, I would do anything to take care of my family. It doesn't matter what it is. I would dig ditches. I would drive Uber. I'd drive DoorDash. I'd do anything I can to support my family. And I think a lot of people nowadays, they don't have that type of mentality in there. When you have a family to take care of, it all changes, or it should change for you. If you're not, you're probably a bad parent. But but anyway, yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this. This video is just all over the place. Well, it's not all over the place, but I just want to say, stop being a victim. Be a victor. Take control of your life. And yes, you can't control every aspect of your life, but what can you change? What can you change that's going to make your life better or set you down the path to where you're going to be going into a career that's going to make you a good amount of money and set you up for the rest of your life? Most people know what they're good at, and they know their strengths, and they know what they would want to do, yet they still don't go for it. And time's a wasting right now. No one's coming to help you. No one's going to care about your excuses. Now is the time to change and take control of your life. Anyway, guys, I don't know what made me make this video, to be honest with you. This is such a weird video for me to make, like a self-help type of inspiring speech type thing, but it's so true. It's so true. A lot of this generation is going to wake up one day, they're going to be 35 years old, sleeping in their parents' basement, and be like, what the hell happened? No one came and saved me. All of my excuses, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, no one's going to help you. No one's going to save you. No one's going to make you famous or make your job better. You have to go out there and make it happen. The only thing you can control is you. That's it. You can't control anything else. And yes, there are bad hands in this world, like I said, but yeah. Anyway, holy crap. What a weird video. I've been like watching a lot of stoicism videos and just got me thinking, and I was just like, you know what? I grew up poor and made it out and made changes to make my life better. And there's nothing stopping any of you from doing exactly the same. Exactly the same thing. Anybody can get out of the situation that they're in. And a lot of times it's their family and friends too. If you have family or friends that are going to bring you down to their level or negatively affect your life in that way, you need to get away from those people. I left an entire group of friends behind. I just like ghosted them. I'm like, I can't be friends with them anymore. They're a bad influence on my life. They're constantly getting in trouble. And after I got in trouble with the law at a certain point, and I was like, I'm done. I have smartened up. But that's for another story. If you want to hear about that time I actually got in trouble with the law, let me know in the comments below. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Subscribe, like, all that fun stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.